Hello and welcome to the Leathercraft Masterclass tool reviews. In this review we're taking a look at a larger tool or machine, in this case Metallic Elephant's KSF Mini, a smaller, lighter and more portable version of their ever popular KSF-1. This makes the Mini ideally suited towards individual artisans, small businesses or people that like to travel and hot foil or heat stamp leather goods elsewhere. After going through two cheaper machines myself, this machine has made a huge difference to my own work. And in my mind, a good quality machine like this makes a huge difference that definitely shows your work above the rest. The digital temperature controller is a rather simple affair. All you have to do is press and hold down the down arrow and let go. When it starts flashing, simply adjust the temperature to whatever you want, in this case say 110 degrees. Once you're ready, press P. It will then start increasing the temperature. The same goes if you want to decrease the temperature. The display here shows an accurate up-to-date temperature, so it tells you exactly what temperature it is rather than just giving you an average. Once it's made its little click noise, that's an indicator that we're ready to go. You'll notice that it will carry on going up before it comes back down again and equalizes. Even though it does go beyond the number that you select, it does come back down, and it doesn't mean that that's the actual temperature of your die. So once it's hit the temperature that you've set, you're ready to stamp. This is the heater box head here, and this is where you're going to put your logo. On any machine you want to make sure that you don't tighten down the screws before adding heat, because different metals, steel, aluminium and brass expand at different rates and put a lot of stress onto the screw threads. So once it's up to temperature, you can then tighten down nice and snug. The logo that's in here is my brand, and it is a type high logo. The type itself is very deep. It's a thick chunk of brass and about 25mm in height. This is also 25mm in height, which means you can exchange them quite rapidly. Another example of a die is my Made in England die here, and it is the same 25mm high. This is an option when you order your dies, and it's definitely something I recommend for sake of simplicity. One of the most unique features about this machine is the ability to move the head down. So in the top position, this allows type and dies to slide in and stay in place quite easily, and it allows you to look at exactly what your type is going to look like in the finished product without having to detach anything from the machine and then replace it afterwards. So all you have to do is simply bring it down, and it indexes perfectly. Now I can place my leather underneath. In this case, not using any foil, just holding down, give it a darker look. And then I can simply bring it up. If I have this taped down with some masking tape each side, that gives me the opportunity to bring it back down again if I need to do a second stamping. And in this case, I don't. Metallic Elephant also produces type for their machines. My preference is 6mm times New Roman, and I also like the classic look of the traditional serif type. The type itself is machined from solid brass and can be carefully extracted. The type is a single bevel style of type, which usually results in a much more accurate, cleaner, crisper looking finish to your hot foil. This means that looking at it sideways, it goes straight down sharply as soon as it goes to the edge of the type. If you're using type that has two stages before it goes down, that is a double bevel style of type, and it usually results in slightly more blurred edges. Double bevel is generally easier to machine, but you get what you pay for, and this has the results. Taking a look at the logo here, you can see it's the same 25mm depth as I mentioned before, so it's the same height as the type, which means it's easy to exchange. All the type and all the dies comes with a machined line in the top, and that just helps you to remember which way up it's meant to be when it goes into the machine. It's a tiny little detail, but it makes a huge difference. The last thing you ever want to do is go to stamp your leather goods and realize it's upside down, thereby ruining the entire piece. And this is something I'm especially grateful for, as it is something that I have done before, and I think many of us who have years of experience doing it have done at some point. So a very simple method of avoiding that. Using a piece of tan calf here as an example, I'm just going to place over some API foil. This is my favorite foil, and it's made in Germany. It's sold exclusively through Metallic Elephant, so you'll need to contact them, and I've put in the contact details below. bringing the heater box down. And that results in a very clean, crisp finish. Whether you decide to use foil or whether you decide to go for a blind stamp, it's completely up to you, but this machine can do it all. As you can see on this one, we've gone for a higher temperature. I've reduced the temperature a little bit more on this one, and even lower still, and you can essentially even use these cold. Personally, I like the darker look of the logo in vegetable tan leather. It gives it a more striking appearance, it gives it a little bit more definition to stand out, but it's not too overt if you're not looking to use foil. But the finish, as you can see, is incredible. So while we listen to the torrential rain on the workshop roof, is the metallic elephant KSF Mini worth it? Personally, I think it's an investment piece, much like using a skiving machine or buying a splitter or many of the different things that we buy as leather crafters. There are some things that you can cheap out on to a certain extent, and there are some things that you just can't cheap out on. And in my personal opinion, I would recommend using a good quality product for a hot stamp machine, and for me that's the KSF Mini. I think it's a good compromise between price and practicality. It's small, it's light, you can take it to craft events, you can take it anywhere you want to, and it's a UK company which I like to personally support. But the good thing is, you can get parts very easily, and their customer service is very good, which means that you can contact them for any issues should you have them. So far I haven't. So for me, I think it's definitely been worth it, and it's definitely made a difference to my goods. If it's going to make a difference enough to justify the price for you, that's something that only you can decide on. But you have to look at something like this as something that's going to make you money if you're in business. You want good quality equipment that gives you good results, and it's going to last a long time with a reliable company behind it. So far this is my third hotfoil machine. The first two were Chinese made ones that I purchased that looked great, and both of them broke within a short period of time. So sometimes it pays to buy the best early on, and that way you can enjoy better results sooner. As the saying goes, if you buy cheap you buy twice, or in my case 3 times. Or an even better one, the bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of a low price is forgotten. So if you are interested in one of these machines, my recommendation is the KSF Mini. There's nothing wrong with the KSF 1, it has a slightly larger platform, which is good for bookbinding and stamping larger objects, for example. But personally I find the Mini is very good for bags, wallets, watch straps, and many other small to mid-size items. Plus, in my small workshop, it takes up a very small amount of space, so a small footprint is one of my major considerations. If you're interested in checking out their website, I've put the links below for metallicelephant.co.uk. I've put a direct link to the page that shows you the KSF Mini and all its specifications. For price and more information on type and logos and things like that, I've also put in the contact page on metallicelephant.co.uk, so you can contact them and ask there. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and if you are looking to learn more about how to hotfoil and how to get the best from your hotfoil machine, check out leathercraftmasterclass.com, where I've produced a course specifically for teaching you how to get the best results from various types of leather. For example, exotic leathers, chrome tan leathers, vegetable tan leathers, textured and smooth leathers. That video tutorial is based on using any machine, but in that course I use the KSF Mini. So if you are interested in purchasing it, there is a course to go with it that shows you exactly how to use it and get the best results. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.